Welcome to the first course in the series called Raise Your Vibration Through the Luminaries. During this course, we will be working with 3 luminaries at a time, as they are very strong vibrations and there's a great deal that we can learn from each one. There are 24 luminaries in all, so there will be 8 parts to this series. And each of these series can be taken by itself, or you can take them in their order, starting with this one, which is number 1. And through this process, the first 4 of these will be ones that help you to transition in a world that's experienced lots of drama and trauma into a world that is one that we live as new vibrations. So the second 4 parts of this series will be showing you how to live as those new energies. And you'll understand what that means as we go along. So, in introducing myself, I'd like you to know that I am a certified spiritual guide and healing facilitator, and also the founder of Complementary Color Therapy. And what you are experiencing here is a course that is a part of the total of Complementary Color Therapy. And this is really for people who are serious seekers and people who love color and are ready to take the next step on their journey. So welcome. I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're ready. One of your reasons for raising your vibration with the luminaries is because we are ushering in a new way of living. And even though you may not realize it, you volunteered to come into this life to be a pioneer in that process. We signed up for it, and now we are being given tools as to how to be that pioneer. And these luminaries are one of those tools. So humans are raising their vibrations along with the earth to see if we can live as our light body. That light body is what we come in with and what we leave with when we come to be humans here on earth. We are seeing if we can live in this higher vibration without the heavy baggage that we carried with us through the first part of our journey, which were the many different things that come through the mind, the thoughts that come to us, the emotions that we carry in with us and that we develop along the way, attachments to experiences and people and things, all of which create a heavy vibration. It's kind of like carrying around a bag with you. And now we are letting go of that bag. We are finding ways to let go of the attachments. We're finding ways to live in a much lighter state. And this is what's going to make it possible for us to live as our light body. In my estimation, there are 3 steps that help us to get to the place where we can live as our light body. It's a process, a way that we're learning as we go. And part of what can be frustrating sometimes is we've never been here before. We've never come to the place as humans where we were this light, where we had come to a place where we could begin to live as our light body. So this is new and it's sometimes confusing, and it's why we come together to discover what is going on and how we can help each other to make it to the next place that we need to be in order to do what we came here to do. The first step in coming to that place of living as your light body is awareness. Now, awareness is when we can step away from the places we have lived most of the time in our life and we become the observer. We are able to notice that there are patterns in us and in others that don't seem to be going anywhere or don't seem to be helping us to live the life we want to live. I call this stuck energy. This is energy that's gotten caught in thoughts that recycle through old experience and through learned beliefs, through patterns that we have gotten used to and don't even know that we've gotten used to them. They're almost like they're automatic. And then there are emotions that play the same song over and over again. if something comes along that hits that place where that emotion is, then you replay it. And then there are habits that can dominate you even though they don't work. Even though you know it's not what you want to do, it's like you keep going there expecting something different. And of course, some say that that's the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again expecting different results. So we need to come to the place where we're aware that these things are going on, aware that they're replaying, and then the process from awareness is learning how we can change them. So, in the complementary color therapy model that I've developed, we have some tools for this first part, which is the awareness part. And the color cards are one of those. That's a set of cards, 16 cards, that help you to become aware of what's happening in your life and also give you some ideas of how you might change it, how you can begin the process of dissolving some of the things that are not working for you. And then we have certified practitioners who use the cards in what we call a reading or an analysis that helps you to find what those things are, because sometimes we're too close to it and we just can't see it for ourselves. And then we have a basic color course 1, which takes you through 3 pairs of colors and shows you how to use breathing exercises and different ways of looking at what's happening to you that begins to dissolve what's there. Because, one of the things we know is that if you want to change something, you have to first become aware of it before you can even do anything with it. So these are just tools to help you with that kind of awareness so that you can be ready for the next step. Step 2 is about transforming old patterns. Because once you become aware of what's there, the next part of it is, how do we change that? How do we dissolve that? How do we put that away so that we can choose something different? So there are lots of ways to do that. In my experience, I have found that color is such an easy and effective way to do that, that it's really my tool of choice. And it's simple. It's something that we're already familiar with. It's something that has its own kind of consciousness, so it's able to come to us and work with us in a very profound way. And I've found that working with the color in this way, once you have gone through this process of dissolving that energy that has been stuck, you will never go back to that same behavior. Of course, there are times when there are many layers to a behavior or many layers to something that has gotten stuck. So it may come back to you, but it's not the same part that you're working with. You've dissolved one part of it, which you will never go back to. So how do we go about doing that? One of the ways is through the exercises that are in the color cards. Some of those are breathing exercises, and then some of them are just other things that you can do that begin to dissolve those old patterns. And then there's also the basic course 1, which is another way to dissolve what you've discovered through the course that is your stuck energy. Real interesting process, because there are things that come up that you hadn't even realized were running your life. And then as you do these breathing exercises, it's as if the energy is dissolved, and it's dissolved on so many levels. It surprises me even still. And then there's the basic course 2, which is another way of taking this to an even bigger place. It's like that's the next level of vibration. When we've cleared this one level, then we go to the next level. And sometimes in that level, it's things that are stopping us from accepting the magnificence of who we are, of accepting that we're not just human, helping us to release what I call a protector that is keeping us from going forward because at one time it wouldn't have been appropriate to go forward. And then, of course, there are the luminaries, and the first set of the luminaries are ideal for shifting those old patterns. And this is one good reason to go through this course in each of its modules, because it kind of builds one on the other. So these are just some of the ways that we begin to transform those old patterns. The third step is about living life in a new way. That's really what the second half of the luminaries are about. The first 12 are still helping us transform some old patterns, and the second 12 are teaching us what it's like to live in these new energies. One way I describe that is the old world was where we tried to be a good person by loving people and doing that by loving acts. In the new world, it's about being love. And like I said, that's something new. That's something that's kind of foreign to us because we've been used to the doing part, but the being part is a whole different ball game. And it's not one that we're familiar with. So that's really something that the whole set of the luminaries helps us with. It helps us go through that process of changing from the old world to the new world and then learning to live in the new world. Clearing out the old allows us then to have room to choose. Deepak Chopra calls it choosing from the infinite field of possibilities. And it's even hard for us to think in terms of something that's infinite. All possibilities are available. So the luminaries become guides for us in what it's like to be able to live in that field of infinite possibilities, to choose what we really love, to choose what we came here to do, to choose what it is that our life is about. And that's what we truly want in the deepest part of ourselves. Now that we understand somewhat what these steps are to get to the place where we can live as our light body, let's look at the 3 luminary cards that we'll be working with in the next 3 weeks. So this first one is called Simply Self. And this one is about clearing things out, the things that we've been talking about, clearing out the thoughts, clearing out the emotions, clearing out the old patterns, the things that have stood in our way. And here's a portion of the book to kind of tell you a little bit of what Simply Self is about. Release the accumulated baggage of living by dissolving attachments to emotions and patterns of living that no longer serve your life's purpose. Clinging to the past or focusing on the future disappears, allowing the clarity and flow of life to be restored. So you can see this is a very important luminary. This is one that we'll be using to take a look at what we need to clear out. And this doesn't mean that you haven't been spending a lot of time clearing out old patterns, because I think a lot of you have been doing that. But this is about looking again a little deeper and seeing what might still be there that is getting in the way of raising your vibration. The next luminary that we'll be dealing with is called Love Child. This is one of my favorites. This is about self-love. It's about not holding on to patterns that would keep you from loving yourself and then from loving other people. It's letting go of self-judgment, which in turn means that you can let go of judgment of others. And it's an interesting one. You know, I would take these luminaries to different psychic fairs and have people pick a card. It's very interesting to me because often when I would read the Love Child card to them, they would have tears in their eyes because it really speaks to places in their life where the child in them has been hurt or has felt separated or has felt alone. And we have to heal that in order for us to move on and to raise our vibration. So here's a little bit from Love Child. Protect your innocence with your discernment that knows what is safe and what is not, that knows what is healthy and what is not, that knows when others are helpful and when they are not, Then wrap seriousness in cotton candy while you explore the world with childlike wonder. Can you feel that? That's that wonder of the child that we once were. That's that place of innocence. But now we have the discernment to go with that innocence, which makes it a very different experience. The last luminary in this section is called Dolphins Song. This is another really beautiful one, and this is one that many people have been very connected to. It's about living in a different kind of flow in life. It's about accessing information from beyond you and within you. It's about being aware of all the help that is available. So here's a little bit from this luminary so that you get an idea of it. Let me whirl you into the stars to see the magnificence that you know. Sit beside me in the nothingness to rejuvenate your inner resolve. Swim with me in the ocean depths whose beauty fills the soul. And then later on it says, swim with them in the healing pool, dream with them in the stars, be still with them in the nothingness. You are in the world, beyond the worlds, and between the worlds. All of what you experience is real, and nothing is static. I hope you can feel how the energy in this luminary takes us to a new place, helps us to expand and recognize parts of ourselves that we don't usually focus on. So this one can really begin to shift your vibration and to let you know another part of yourself that you may not have been as aware of. This concludes the introduction to the Luminaries webinar, and if you haven't yet signed up for it, you will see the place to sign there at the bottom. And remember that this is about clearing your baggage, the stuff you've been carrying around with you for most of your life. This is about loving and nurturing yourself. It's about living interdimensionally. This is a new experience for us, and this is a new way of living from our light body. So I hope you'll join me in this exciting series, and together we'll find new ways of living.